Today in crypto, the price of Bitcoin took a massive, fat, just steaming jump, man. What the heck happened? I'm going to share the 3 reasons that Bitcoin is tanking today and just what the charts are showing us and why, in spite of the short-term pain, that I'm still very bullish long-term on Bitcoin. And make sure to stick around to the end as well to find out who won the Cool Wallet S hardware giveaway. The cryptolark. This is where you subscribe for all of the hottest and the latest happening in crypto land. By the way, if you are new to crypto and you're still trying to just wrap your head around all of the crazy that goes on in crypto, and even just the basics like how to buy Bitcoin, how to send Bitcoin, how to store Bitcoin, how to mine Bitcoin, or even just what the heck Bitcoin is, then check out my beginner course called Cryptocurrency Explained. It will take you from absolute zero to knowing the basics of crypto so that you can confidently make your first steps into crypto. There's a link down below where you can learn more. So let's turn over to the charts first. It has been a brutal day for Bitcoin and really the markets globally as a whole. Bitcoin just sunk massively, dumping around 13% in the last few hours. Savage Bitcoin, absolutely savage. Bitcoin has been having a damn tough time breaking that resistance at the $9,150 level and staying above it, which looking back has really proven to be a tricky zone for Bitcoin over the last few months. Our next significant zone of support is around $7,650, so do keep that in mind if we keep falling. But that being said, basically every relevant trend line has at this point been broken for Bitcoin, and that 200-day moving average, that is a long way away at this point. Now, if the price continues like this, then we run the real possibility of even seeing Bitcoin move back into a death cross just before the halving. The MACD on the daily is looking quite bearish at the moment. It had been looking like we might be moving towards a more bullish crossover for the MACD, but the market has rejected that quite firmly. Now on the weekly, the MACD is closing in on a bearish cross as well, so that's not super awesome as the longer term trend looks, signaling that we might be moving back towards the Bitcoin halving with a lot of bearish indicators set up leading us into that halving event. And it looks like we just got confirmation of a head and shoulders on the daily as well. Now this, in case you are not aware, is a bearish chart pattern and could send the price of Bitcoin much, much lower than we are currently seeing, possibly even down to the lows of late last year. Tread lightly out there, guys. It is very stormy weather in crypto land. I, of course, remain, as always, long-term bullish on Bitcoin, but short-term we might be in for some pain. And, of course, this chance to accumulate Bitcoin at lower prices, always welcome. So thank you, whales. Thank you. Now, that's just the technicals, but I want to actually look past that to see just what is going on out there. Why is the price of Bitcoin tanking so damn hard? Well, a big suspected reason is that the Plus token scam seems to have deposited around 13,000 Bitcoin to a mixer according to reports from blockchain research firm Ergo. That is around $117 million in Bitcoin. Now, the long-term effect of the Plus token scam, man, has been some crazy stuff. Essentially, we have this giant super scam whale out there just continually unloading huge amounts of Bitcoin after every decent move up that we get. The good news is that they should be running short on their Bitcoin. The bad news is they're probably not out of Bitcoin yet. Now, in total, the scam is thought to have netted 180,000 Bitcoin. Now, a lot of that has already been sold, but it is hard to track exactly how much is where, since the scammers have transferred the Bitcoin more than 24,000 times using more than 71,000 different addresses. And that's old data now, so it's probably much more than that by this point. And the use of mixers has made it incredibly hard to keep tabs on where all the Plus token Bitcoin is going. The scammers are thought to potentially have tens of thousands of Bitcoin still left in their possession. So anyway, it's not a coincidence that the scammers moved 13,000 Bitcoin and then the price of Bitcoin dumped the way that it did. The operators of the scam have been selling on and off really every few weeks since August of last year. It is important to note too that the rate of selling has declined quite significantly in recent months, but sadly, it is not over yet. And while in the big picture of the daily crypto market volume, 13,000 Bitcoin may not seem like a totally insane amount, but it is definitely significant since the scammers, they just unload it as quickly as possible when they make these decisions to sell. Now that sum slowly sold over time, that wouldn't have such a negative market impact, but this short-term pain that they're causing, it is very definitive in the way that they're selling their Bitcoin. Long-term though, we're still all good. We're still all good. Now, of course, that is just one piece of the Bitcoin puzzle today. The Bitcoin Fear Index is down at around 33, which is definitely not good. Not as low as it can go. Still have lower to go on the Fear Index. But this is all happening as global markets continue to just have massive hits based on fears around that Mexican beer themed crisis that we see going on. The oil markets in particular, they took a big upset today. I mean, seriously, if you think that a 13% drop for Bitcoin was brutal, oil opened at a 30% loss today. That's crazy. And it's not just oil. Markets are just getting crushed across the board. In the US, the 10-year Treasury yield is on pace to hit a record all-time low of 0.5%. More rate cuts by the Federal Reserve are a near certainty, and the market is already starting to price those in. More and more, the word recession just keeps getting floated around, which means that it's coming. And to add to the fun of the beer crisis, it seems that Saudi Arabia has just decided to start a massive oil price war right as the global economy is on the brink. Thanks, Saudi Arabia. Appreciate that. They are preparing to flood the markets in order to crush Russian and American oil producers, which while doing that will also crush economies all around the world that depend on oil exports. We're talking Africa, we're talking South America, we're talking producers in Southeast Asia. Sure, it's going to get cheaper to buy a liter of petrol at the pumps, but no one is going anywhere due to the fears of the growing pandemic. Good times, cheap oil, and nowhere to go. Now, I bring all of that up just to really underline that it's not just Bitcoin that's getting hit at the moment, but that there is a massive global economic event unfolding right before our eyes, and that is likely going to get way worse before it starts getting better. Obviously, I don't hope for that. I'm just looking at this as what's happening. So that is something you need to factor into your Bitcoin calculations when thinking about the markets these days. And the final piece of the puzzle is the Bitcoin miners. Now, the soon-to-pass Bitcoin halving is making something of a perfect storm situation in a bad way for miners in China who are in dire need of more powerful rigs to be profitable post-halving. But the Mexican beer crisis has made supply shortage of miners much more acute than they were already, because demand is already super high, demand remains high, but they can't get their hands on them. Now, of course, that's just putting more financial pressure on miners. Now, this is all particularly due to the massive quarantine that we see happening across China right now. So mining rig manufacturers like Beijing-based Bitmain and Shenzhen-based MicroBT, they have been unable to ship new equipment to mining farms across China and across the world. And there's also a very big shipping delay right now of the 7 nanometer chips from Taiwan-based chip manufacturers. Crazy. So what we are looking at is if the price of Bitcoin stays flat, or if it drops further, then mining will become increasingly less profitable for a wide range of miners, likely putting terminal pressure on a lot of smaller mining operations. Miners who are unable to upgrade in time, they're going to be put out of business. While some may try to hold their Bitcoin until after the halving, Those who are trying desperately right now to stay afloat as the price drops and they can't get that new hardware, they're going to be burning through Bitcoin trying to keep their farms running. Now, this will likely mean that a farther concentration of mining power is going to happen, since only companies like Bitmain are going to be able to remain competitive in a situation like this, especially as the hash rate continues to hit new all-time highs and the difficulty of mining Bitcoin continues to move up as well. The network itself is stronger than ever, and it's continuing to grow stronger. The same cannot be said for a lot of smaller mining farms. Anyway, in spite of the generally not good feeling in the markets right now, I just want to reiterate, I remain a long-term Bitcoin bull. If you ignore this temporary price action that we're seeing and you look at the fundamentals, then you will quickly see that Bitcoin and the wider crypto markets overall, they are still kicking butt. Just check out this story from 2 days ago. A French commerce court has classified Bitcoin as currency during a recent trial. The court decided to qualify Bitcoin as a fungible, interchangeable asset that is not individualizable, just like fiat money. Now, this was ruled as part of an ongoing dispute between an exchange and an investment firm. And in order to resolve the legal dispute, the court actually had to sit down to address the exact legal nature of Bitcoin. Now, the scope of this particular decision in France is quite considerable because it essentially allows Bitcoin to be treated like money or other financial instruments as well in France. And thus this opens up the door at a legal level for things like Bitcoin lending or Bitcoin repo transactions. Now, these kinds of legal precedents, they are super important. So it's obviously very impactful to see this happening. And this announcement from France, it really just tops off what has been just an amazing few weeks for Bitcoin and for cryptocurrencies. In the past 2 weeks, we have had important pro-crypto rulings out of Germany, where crypto was officially recognized. India, where we saw the Supreme Court shoot down the RBI fiat ban so that all people across India, all 1.3 billion people, can now go and buy crypto. Australia had an important announcement where crypto was accepted as security in a court case. In South Korea, they just passed a new pro-crypto bill. Now, to go back to the earlier topic of price, don't get shaken out. Look at what is happening. Open your eyes, filter out the noise, play the long game. The Bitcoin halving, it is closer and closer by the day. We are on the verge of the next super cycle for crypto. The crisis won't last forever. They never do. Zoom out. Nothing has changed in the fundamentals of Bitcoin or of the entire crypto economy. The government is still totally dysfunctional. Inflation continues. Rate cuts are heading towards negative territory basically everywhere. Banks are hopelessly corrupt and in big trouble because of their bad betting. The economy is on the brink. Buy and hold Bitcoin. That is all. And chill. Don't forget the chillin' part. Stack sats, and the second part, got chill, guys. Okay, and finally for today, the winners of the Cool Wallet S giveaway. So let's start off with Twitter. In total, we had 150 entries. So let's pop that into our random number generator. And the number is 32, who is Andrea Agres. Congratulations, Andrea. And then over on Facebook, we had 61 entries in total. So who is it going to be? Number 34. And that is Jeffrey Miller. Congratulations, Jeffrey. And congratulations to both the winners. And of course, a massive thank you to everyone who participated in this giveaway. I will be doing another giveaway soon. We got lots more wallets down here to give away. So those are all coming soon. So stay tuned for those. Next time it's going to be done on YouTube. So it'll be a YouTube exclusive giveaway. Now, your question for today, what do you think about the price of Bitcoin? Why is it tanking so hard? Is it about any of the reasons that I gave here today? Or is it something else completely that I've totally missed? I would love to know your thoughts on the topic down below in the comment section. Stay strong out there, guys. Price action's only temporary. Hope you're having an awesome day in spite of the red markets out there, everyone. Thank you for watching today's video. As always, I massively, massively appreciate your time coming over here, watching these videos, listening to this dude talk about cryptocurrencies on the internet. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.